Good morning. Monday again. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics. I'm your host, astrologer Jennifer Jennings. Today is a federal day. Lots of things going on with Trump, the United States, judges, courts, Sebastian, Virginia. I mean, the list just goes on, and it's a wild looking day today. And before I went live, I found that Trump is in Scotland, so I pulled Scotland. There's a lot that's been taking place with these different cases here in Tennessee that I am heavily invested in. Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers. And I just want to take a moment this morning and I want to talk about it. I'm feeling somewhat better. My last live, I couldn't even hardly think. I was just still not feeling good. That childhood, common childhood illness, hands, foot, and mouth. My granddaughter got it. My daughter got it. It's just like, whoa. I don't know if I was feeling the effects of that, but I am feeling better. And I've got a lot to remind us what we were talking about before, and how today is the day that we were observing the things that were going to go down with the United States, with Trump and Eric Craddock, because Eric Craddock, the sheriff, Sumner County, he shares the same degree as the United States and Trump. And I'm going to show you guys that once I duel it out. If you're on your phone, you're probably not going to be able to see it clear, but you can always try to enlarge it and see if you can see what I'm talking about. But nevertheless, I'm going to show it to you with dual wheels. That's two wheels. And what I do is I'm just playing the numbers game. When I map someone that's missing, it's based on the degree with that certain glyph, with that certain geometric angle that was taking place. And all that is a behavior. Astrology is just nothing but behavior. We are analyzing behavior. That's all I'm doing. But I'm analyzing the behavior based on the degrees first. And then that will allow me to tell a story of what I think is taking place. So let me show you first. Let's go ahead and get Eric Craddock out of the way, because he is having, I'm not sure if today is the day that the Sumner County is going to be, let me see if I can get this right. Here we go. Sumner County is going to be, the commission is going to be going over the budget of Sumner County. Let me see if I've got that up. So let me pull up Eric Craddock. Did I pull him up yet? Yeah. So I'm going to show you Eric Craddock today. And what's going to happen, this is going to be it's going to start at 12:23 for the United States for Trump. But there's some things that are happening here. Hold on. Let me show you. Let me just go ahead and show you right now. So right now, the lunar nodes are at a 2027 degree. Let me go ahead and pull the United States up if I don't have them up yet. Yeah, let me pull them up real quick, because we're going to talk about this connection that Trump, the United States, and Eric Craddock has. And there's a connection here with Craddock and the United States that we can't forget about. I don't want, especially any astrologers that would be listening to this live. This 1448 is the United States, and it's in Libra. It's Saturn. There is the midheaven in Libra. It's a 103. And then we have, this is all in the 10th house. This is where Saturn rules, is the 10th house. It's the public image. It is the work, the fame. This is what house Saturn is sitting in at a 1448. And there's a relationship that gives a conscious raising experience to the government of the United States. And this relationship is a 2027. Like I said, the lunar nodes right now are at a 2027. So it's fated with the relationship. Okay, it's fated with the relationship. The fate is the lunar nodes. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at Donald Trump in the United States. So Trump is over here, and you can see that he has a relationship. Juno is a relationship. It's in the second house of Virgo. It's about health of the government, the values, the money. Okay. And there's this relationship, the 1448 in Libra. So Donald Trump slows things down. The United States has limits and obstacles with the government, the governing agencies, the courts, the law, the justice. And there's a relationship with Trump. So that 1448, if we look at Craddock, no matter what time he's born, Eric Craddock has a 1448. It's in Cancer. It's in Cancer. So let me show you the United States now with Eric Craddock and the United States. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Deanna. So Eric Craddock, this 1448 is actually here. Okay, so Vulcanus is a lot of emotions about home, about family, about genealogy, about real estate, land. This 1448, not sure which house it is in because I don't know what time Craddock is born. I just know that this is a non-mover that day, and he does have a lot of emotions that is sitting right here in the seventh house of relationships with the United States. But it's the same degree, so he is connecting to the government at a federal level with the justice and courts and Saturn for the United States. It's not a good connection to have. We see the connection with Donald Trump. And of course, Donald Trump's is in Libra, so it's more intense than Eric Craddock's would be. But today, that 1448, let me show you. I'm going to show you right now. These are the transit right now. This, see the Hades. Hades looks like a C with a cross. Right here, Hades, it's weighty. Hades is weighty. And that 1447 is coming into the 1448. It's coming. It's coming today to that 1448. And it's a 24-hour transit. So that means that for 24 hours, there's going to be a heaviness, a weight with the emotions with Eric Craddock today. A weight. All day into tomorrow. So let me show you that. Let me show you that. Now I'm going to talk about some other things too. I'm about to break it all down for you. All you got to do is just follow what I'm saying. And as far as the degrees, you don't even have to pay attention to that if you don't want to. You don't have to understand any of this. When I tell you that there is a weight, you understand that, right? You understand what a weight feels like when you are weighted down with something. You're heavy. You may not know why. You may not know why you are weighted down, and sometimes you do. It's just this heaviness that is over Eric Craddock for 24 hours, beginning, well, it's already in orb. I mean, it's already in orb now. But it will come into that 1448 by 4 o'clock. So let me get it to the exact moment. We're going to break this down. There it is. There's the 1447. It's going to show up and begin at 3:57 today, Nashville time. And then the 3:57 is going to go to the 3:58. I'm going to be talking about that with Layla Centinello. It's been in transit for 24 hours. We're going to talk about the TBI. Oh, yeah, there's a lot happening today. A lot happening. What we're going to see, I have no idea. I have no idea how this is going to work itself out. I can only imagine and talk about what I think could happen. What I think can happen. Okay, so we are going to look at this with Eric. We already know that this is coming upon Trump, the justice system, and he is in Scotland today. So before I even get into that and the things that are happening with Trump today and the opposing forces, I want to just say that Eric Craddock, I don't know what time he shines, what degree he shines at. It could be a 1618. I've got it at a 1614 just because it matches Donald Trump and Sebastian. So the 1614, and it was in transit when he went missing. That 1614 was. It's Sebastian's Vulcan and Sag in that first house, but 1614. So Donald Trump has the 1614 with Kronos today. There's a devouring energy with Sebastian and Trump. There is a weight with Eric Craddock, the United States, and Trump. Kronos is about timing. It's about timing. And it is a devouring energy because if you think about the behavior of the myth with Kronos, how he devours all of his children. Zeus is the only one that makes it. This devouring energy with Kronos is not just devouring, but it's about a timing. The timing made perfect. Hades is, of course, the underworld. You take somebody down into the underworld with all your problems. Sometimes those problems can just pile up so much. You need to seek counseling with Hades. So this 1448 begins at 4 o'clock today. And you can see that the dark moon is at a 1347. This dark moon is coming to the lunar nodes, and his lunar nodes could definitely be 1347. His fate is connected to the darkness, the pain that Katie Proudfoot shares about her home and about her mom. There's a lot of energy that is going with Chris and groups with this fate with Eric. And tonight at 7 o'clock is when I'm under the impression that Sumner County is going to vote on their budget. The commission is going to vote on the budget. And Eric Craddock is looking for the sheriff's department to have a step raise. So I don't know if this is going to work out for him or not, because he does have that connection at the federal level. And not only is he in transit, but so is the TBI. And I'm about to show you that, because as soon as this weight begins with Craddock, check it out. We're going to see the TBI. Will the TBI have anything to do with Craddock or any of this that I'm talking? They shouldn't. They shouldn't have anything to do with Sumner County Board of Commissions. They shouldn't have anything to do with Sumner County. But Hygeia here in the 7th house of relationships in Gemini, she's at a 2117. Well, the TBI has a 2117 in their chart in Gemini. It's about money. It's about communications. It's about two people. Their values. Their values. And these values are explosive with emotions at an 848. And so we go back and we look at the transits and we go, okay. So Astrea, the divine justice in Sag, is an 848. 848. She's not in Cancer. No, she's not in Cancer. She's in Sag. That's right here. She would be positioned here in their chart in the 7th house of relationships and partnerships with the Justice. And the divine justice is about justice. I mean, she is Virgo. She is the constellation of Virgo. She makes things happen. And so does Hygeia. I mean, don't ever think that just because this isn't these aren't personal planets, doesn't mean that they are not potent. Because all of these are. Otherwise, I'm not going to be reading them. I'm not going to waste my time with them, So it's interesting to see that when this begins earlier today, let's go back. When this begins earlier today, there's going to be a wake-up call. There's a wake-up call with an investigation in groups at an 1814. So today, their magnetism in the 5th house of kids and how they create is an 1815. So that means that Pallas is going to make contact. Pallas is at 18 degrees. She's actually here with the investigative house, the publicity, their public image. And on the 29th, on Tuesday, that 358 is going to be a 359. And this is the house of kids. So I'm going to keep talking about what I'm seeing because there's a lot. And I'm going to I'm trying to go over it as best as I can, as quick as I can, just to hold your attention. So what I can say is that I connect to the TBI with this 2117 in my 5th house of kids. GJ, Layla Centinello's father, also connects to the TBI with this 2117. And I've showed you on the map time and time again with Layla on places that I think she could be found. And I also want to say, so the TBI could be working on Layla's. TBI could be working on Summer's too, because let me show you Summer's chart with this timing here. Let me show you. Because I've been talking about her beginning, I think it was the 18th, July 18th or the 21st. And then again, it's the 28th through the 1st of August or the 2nd of August, if I remember correctly. There's 2 timing increments that I'm watching. Excuse me. So the devouring energy at a 1614, right? That's with Sebastian, and I'm going to show his chart in just a minute, but that 1614 is Sebastian with Kronos and Trump and Virginia. But just 2 days ago, on the 26th, it was a 1612, and it was in an opposition with Summer's Pluto, opposing her, opposing the 2nd house of Sagittarius, which could be about a long travel. It could be a river. It could be religion. the religion and her dad, the religion and a pastor, the religion and someone older that she could have met at church. It could be a transformation at a business, like a hotel. But there was an opposition with her. But today, Pluto is at a 2:30 in Aquarius with all of this other stuff going on with the TBI. And that 2:30 is Summer Wells' fourth house of home, Ceres. And Ceres can represent a pastor, church, agriculture, land, farming. And there's a lot of energy here with Pisces. Could be about drugs, alcohol. But that 2:30 is being transformed all day. Pluto is generally a 24-hour, sometimes more, sometimes longer, sometimes less, but generally a 24-hour transit as well. And so that means that there is a deep transformation and intensity that's taken place with groups, with online networking, homelessness, video. And that is where she is being transformed. All the while, Astrea has been stationing. She has been stationing at an 846 before she ever got this Sagittarius, Astrea, this Justice, Miss Virgo. She was at an 846 for a whole day. Actually, 2 days. She was there for 2 days at an 846 stationing. So, are we seeing something about her brothers, her dad, the church, the courts, or the DA? What are we seeing here? What has been going on behind the scenes with the TBI? Because the TBI is showing up strongly. And this 1812 that brings a wake-up call with an investigation with groups and video and networking, it has already went over Zeus, this magnetism with the justice. And Saturn has already left, even though Saturn is still in an opposition with Hygeia here in the 11th house. Saturn at a 143 is now with the FBI. So it has left this opposition with Summer. But the problem is that Saturn is here in the 5th house of kids and how she creates. There's a lot of warring here. Lots of warring. Juno is at a 1702, and Juno is going to end up making contact with this flame of life and Uranus. The moon is conjunct Mars right now, and it's in Virgo. It's in Virgo. So that's up here with the publicity house, with the public image with Summer. Mars has already went over the same degree that she and the state of Tennessee share with the 2347. The moon has already went over her north node, Jupiter. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot that has been taking place with Summer's case behind the scenes. We can see it. We can recognize it. It's been taking place with the TBI. And this 2422 is coming to the 2428 with Mars in Virgo that the state of Tennessee has, that Summer Wells has, that Layla Centinelo has. And, about a month ago, I was thinking, it's at the end of the month. Maybe they are regrouping. Maybe they are talking things over. Maybe they are trying to get new eyes, trying to figure out where these kids could be. But what's interesting too is that Ceres out of 1613 is coming to that 1614 as well. It's already went over with a lot of energy. Her Pluto, it's already made contact with that Pluto. Mars at a 2428 is going to be here making contact with the 2428 that she has with Tennessee. And we've looked at this on the map a bunch. I don't want to go back over the map and show you exactly where these are, but this is where she in the state of Tennessee and the TBI meet up on this angle where she lets go. I have literally seen someone be found. I told one of my friends one time, I'm like, I think she's rising out of the water. Next thing you know, are pulling this woman out of the water and she had let go. And there's always a timing with these cases. There's always a timing. And when the timing is right, that's when it takes place. So we know that Juno out of 1702 has already went over her Mars in Scorpio. There was a relationship. It's about a car. It's about a movement. It's about the investigation. Lots of stuff has been taking place with her case. The other persons that I know that have this 1813 that Summer has is her dad and Don Sherfy Jr. And then what's going to happen is Pallas is going to make contact here at the 1804. It's going to go 1813 on down to 1804, and that's the dark moon. Disordered aggression with relationships with the justice, with the health, with the relationships and the justice system, the police. So as you can see, there's a lot going on, y'all. The sun, though, I want to show you TBI one more time, because this is going to be going over Jody Sue's house on the map. Let me show you. All right, see where they have their midheaven. The TBI has their midheaven. Their MC is in Aquarius. It's at a 559. Their lowest point with children and publicity, 559, but it's in Leo. This angle right here, this degree, that angle goes right over. I'm talking about not to the side. It goes right over Jody Sue's home. And it's about the vehicle. It's about the screen, the vehicle. It goes right over her home. The sun is coming to this degree. So right now, the sun is in Leo. Moon is in Virgo. And we can take this to the 559. The sun is going to shine on that 559. And the sun is going to shine at the lowest point with the TBI and children. The lowest point with the TBI and publicity. And there it is. There it is, right there, 559. And it's showing up in the 9th house. The 9th house is about religion. It's about philosophy. It's about the courts. Mars is showing a 2420. That is my degree for Oklahoma. But what's interesting too is that as the day progresses, there is a lot of federal degrees here. We have Selena out of 2732 in the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, and Cancer. So there's going to be something that we're learning that's in an opposition with the United States Pluto. Pluto. You know, Pluto's about death. It's very intense. It's about other people's money, hidden sex. And so we're learning something. At this point in time, when they have a low point, Mars is conjunct the moon and the south node where we've been before. We're reflecting on where we've been before. Lots of energy is going to this Mars with the south node and the moon. So now I want to show you, we know that the 848 is the TBI, the 2117, that's with Hygeia, that's the TBI, the 1813, we're looking at a lot of action going down with the TBI, but also with Trump in the United States, Vesta here in the 12th house. It's about things of the past. And there's a reigniting of a flame with the ascendant and descendant of the United States. There is a conscious raising experience with a relationship with Sebastian. That 1701 is his Chiron degree in Aquarius. It's where he shares a lot of pain with how he communicates with videos, with networking with people. And there's a relationship from the past that has pained him. This could have been yesterday. It could have been something that took place this weekend. It could be a creator, for all I know, that is giving him a conscious raising experience about things of the past with the investigation. So now I want to show you the FBI. Because the FBI is having problems today. And of course, this is probably all about the Epstein stuff. The FBI has a divine justice, a 1447. So what's happened? Okay, what's happened is this 10th house, their public image, what we were seeing in the public, this 1447 has had the weight on it. But then that weight with Hades, right? With Hades, the 1447 it's now a 1448 this afternoon. But right now, the weight is still upon and making contact with the FBI, with the justice system. Because she's justice. Divine justice is about justice. Excuse me. Now in Sagittarius, she could be about plane. She could be about smoke, about fire. She's combustive. But their Astria is in Leo. So it's about kids. It's about kids. It's about the publicity. It's about pride, ego, all the things that Leo is about. Right? So what I'm seeing here with the FBI is, even though that weight of Hades with the justice system transfers to Trump and the courts and the Department of Justice, even though it does that, they're having limits and obstacles. They're having limits and obstacles at 143. And that 143 is going to come down to a 142 right here. and then a 141 right here. So what that means is that they are having limits and obstacles with the courts, with the Department of Justice. Even though the weight has shifted to the United States justice system, they're going to have limits and obstacles with their everyday work, because this sixth house is about everyday work. This is the sixth house, outer will, sixth house. And it's in an opposition with the 11th house. I'm sorry, with the 12th house. So this 11th, and then it goes to the 12th. So we are having an opposition with the FBI here, with the justice system and things of the past. There's already been a relationship that's given them a lot of energy. It's about other people's money. It's about hidden sex. It's about, things that are hidden with the investigation, things of the past with the FBI. And then Saturn is going to come and oppose the Pallas out of 142. And that Pallas out of 142 is about investigations. Pallas is an investigator. I don't care what you hear on the astrology world or a book. She is nothing but an investigator. She investigates. And when she investigates, she can get those psychic moments that are like, whoa, what just happened there? Why did, so there is a wake-up call with the intellectual acumen there. There's this wake-up call with her. But Saturn is going to come to that degree from the 143 to the 142, and it's going to oppose the investigation. They are being opposed. Their investigation lacks. There's something here with the investigative side with the FBI and Ghislaine Maxwell. It just is. Miss Maxwell and the FBI have a connection that is unmistakably personal, with money and the courts. No doubt about it. 110% accurate with that one. So then Saturn is not going to come to, the same sign. But when Saturn gets to this 141, there's an intensity about the communications with at least two people within the FBI, and they're going to be limited. Lots of limits and obstacles for the FBI. And I want you to see something too. This 2543 with Eris, she has been sitting at this 2543 in Aries for days and days and days. 2 weeks. Since that kid went missing in Wisconsin. And there has been a warring with Wisconsin every day. But then this Eris is coming down in degree to that 2542 and going to sit here once again. And when it does, it's also going to be warring not with just the FBI, but with Terry Bowersox, because he has that connection with the FBI. He has a 2542 in his chart in Aries, no matter what time he's born. So that's going to come back. And each time it comes back, I hope that the FBI will do something that they haven't done yet with the investigative side with Terry Bowersox. I'm not saying that he had anything to do with it, but there is a connection here, and I think that it's valid connection. I mean, you just can't overlook it. You can't. So when I say that I see so much going on in the charts, this is why, because I'm connecting to so much, so many people, so many people and agencies. And what's going to happen is this Uranus at a 0049 in Gemini is coming to the 0050. You know who else I see in this? Sarah Ebersole. I see Sarah in here too. Missing out of Florida. I see her too. Interesting. So The 0050 is going to be shaking the state of Tennessee up with communications and we the people as well, because they have a 0050 and it's about children, it's about education. The lunar nodes are at 2026. 412, 414. We can look at Trump's going to be in Scotland today, but I want to show you China's going to be in the news today. They're descending with the United States. Elon Musk will be in transit today all day with the sun. Of course, Scotland is because Trump is there. I've got Larry Fink up just with BlackRock just because he's really the leader of the world, of the enslaved world. That's really the leader, even though people don't really realize it, but he is the money man. Let's look at Sebastian. Where did he go? There he is. Let's look at Sebastian. Good morning, y'all. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just on a roll this morning talking about everything that I'm seeing because it's wild. It's wild the things that we can see if we just look at degrees first. So this 1614 is connected to Virginia and Sebastian and President Trump. The 1614 is in Sag, his first house. It's about his life path. It's about the courts, religion, philosophy, long travels. And the 1614 is in Cancer with Chronos. There's a timing, there's a devouring energy, and then there's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of warring energy with the 1614 right after 4 o'clock. And Ceres will stay there for a couple of hours. Sure will. And it's with Virginia. And if we see, right, if we see that there are things going on with Trump and Virginia, with those connections that are being made, right, then what can we deduct? What can we assume? We can assume that Sebastian is highly connected to Virginia. Okay, this 1614, let me just show you. Let me pull up Virginia. Let me pull up Virginia. Virginia has the 1614. Look, it's their moon. It's the moon. It's the moon. The 1702 relationship in Scorpio. Well, that's with Scotland. President Trump's in Scotland, right? Okay, so we can see that connection with Scotland, the 1702. Let's see if I've already pulled it up. Where's Scotland? 1702. It's going to be in transit after Sebastian. There it is. Scotland. There's Cupid. Ninth house. Libra. Libra's about the justice. It's about the government. And you can see that Admetos is at a 2907. Whereas Chiron is at a 2709. 2750, 2707. So Chiron has already made contact. There was a deep transformation, a wound here with the government, the authority. That's Trump. Okay, so, we see these connections all the time. And these connections with Virginia and Trump it's an opposition because Trump has his 1614 in Virgo. So it's here. His connection is here, and it's up in an opposition with things of the past that we would need to duly accept. Prisons, hospitals, things of the past. Surgeries, things of the past. Anything with the past. Trump clearly has an opposition that will never change with Virginia. Clearly an opposition. But Sebastian, that's 1614, and Saturn, all of this Pisces energy for Sebastian is actually here in the fourth house of home with mom. Well, we know that his mom has family in Virginia. We know that Chris Proudfoot has family in Virginia. And there's a lot of energy coming to Virginia later. Not just of devouring weight, but a lot of energy, a lot of warring. A lot of warring. But Ceres, again, can be about agriculture, religion. It's pastoral. It's pastoral, and it's in Aries. Ceres is in Aries, and so Ceres at a 16 degree is right here. And she is coming hard for the life path with Virginia, and there's a lot of warring with it. And it's opposing relationships and the justice system. And let me just say, Summer Wells connects to Virginia as well. This Mars at a 110 in Virgo she has a 110 in Virgo. There is a deep transformation with Trans Pluto and this connection that Summer Wells has with her health and Virginia. There's a Virginia connection. She's a little girl. Did they go to Virginia a lot? I'm sure they did. But something took place in Virginia that was deeply transformative with her and a vehicle or her body. Virginia's, 5 miles from Kingsport. It's really not that far at all. Jupiter is in Cancer today. Jupiter is at 11 degree in Cancer, and it's coming to this 1104 that Trump has. Trump has an 1104 right here, but it's in Capricorn. It's in Capricorn. So Jupiter is coming to oppose him. It's going to expand an opposition about an investigation with the authorities. He is going to be opposed today in a big way. And Saturn, when Saturn comes to the FBI at a 142, it's at a 143 right now, but when it comes to oppose the FBI, Saturn is also going to make contact with the video, with the list and children publicity. I can't make it up. It just is. And this 1614 is where he has an opposition with Virginia, and it's the colleges, the laws. And I want you to know that 230 that Summer Wells has in her chart and the fourth house of home with Ceres and Pisces, that 230 that's being transformed today with Pluto, he also has a 230 in his chart. That means that he is receiving a lot of intense information all day. It's intense with we the people. Very intense today. And that's why I'm saying that today is definitely a lot of federal shit going down. Like there's a lot of federal stuff going down. And it's not going away because these energies are just going to keep regurgitating. They're going to keep going over. There's different glyphs, different behaviors, but they're going to keep going over this same. It's just going to keep on doing it until it just reaches that timing with Kronos, right? There's this timing with Kronos, with Sebastian, with Virginia. And let's look at this 2422, because the 2428, it's very interesting that Larry Fink, let's see if Larry Fink has it. You see this 2428, well, this 2428 degree is where he receives information. And Mars is coming to this degree. Well, Mars isn't in Sag. Mars isn't in Gemini. Mars is actually here in his third house. But Mars is definitely making contact with him today during this period of time. And it's going to be a lot of information that is coming in and coming out, right? Larry Fink, BlackRock, is highly connected to Saudi Arabia. So not only does Tennessee have the 2428 in their chart, not only does Layla Santinello, Summer Wells have the 2428, but so does Larry. And so does Saudi Arabia. So keep that in mind. If you hear anything about Larry Fink, BlackRock, China, and if you hear any of that stuff, just remember you heard it here too. There's things going on with Larry Fink and information that he is receiving with the Saudis. But let's get this 2428 to Summer and Tennessee and Layla. Because Layla is in transit this morning. She was in transit yesterday. There could be things going on in her case with the DA. Because there's something that I feel like that there's something that the TBI is taken to the DA today. Because of the justice. You know, there's something here. This is going to be tonight, I think. Yeah. Here it goes, right here. 7:20 p.m. Okay, so this is when the state of Tennessee is, the Mars is here. They're receiving a lot of information, a lot of warring, things having to do with the past health of Tennessee, past health of Summer, past health of Layla Santinello. Now the justice with the TBI is up here. There's a lot of emotions with the TBI. With Summer. With Sebastian. Because now Ceres is at that 1614. She has the outer wheel. She has a 2120 that's coming into transit as well. Let's see. What else can we see? Now we see that Larry Fink, Saudi Arabia, is in transit with Mars. Now there is a complete opposition with President Trump. And there's going to be communications about the money and the values. This is the most intense time. But then the other thing that I want to remind us about, let me save this one because this is something I want to review later. There's going to be a wake-up call with Judge Blanton, DA Whitley, right here, and Melissa. They're all going to have this opposition all at the same time because they have an 1808 in their charts. Judge Blanton does. DA Whitley does. Step Aunt Melissa does. And Nina Gomez does. In Sebastian's case, right? Look at that. Astria is still at the 848. She's not moving that quick. There's still a justice going on with the TBI. But here in the 11th house at 10:20 p.m., there's an authority ruling over the communications, the networking, and there is an opposition because that 1808 that they all have, it's in Leo. It's in Leo, and it's about kids. It's about education, schools, publicity. Okay? And the sun is about to shine on the desires of the TBI at a 618. At a 618, it's going to get there. It's going to get there. Right there. And it's still in the 5th house of kids. That 0050 that the state of Tennessee has, there it is. It's about the values. It's about that money, honey. And all the while, the judge, the DA, they're being opposed with the investigation. And the dark moon is coming to that 1350 that Katie has, that she shares with Chris, and that she shares with Eric Craddock. There's a fate, and there's a lot of disordered aggression about other people's money. And you know what other people's money is. It's like where you're taking other people's money and you're doing dirty shit. That's what that's about. Will this be about the Millersville stuff? Will this be a new type of kid going missing with the TBI? I don't know. But there's definitely a justice here with the TBI all day today. Because as you can see, we're almost at 11 o'clock and they are still holding the justice with home and a lot of emotions with it. With a lot of emotions. So, I mean, you know, the opposing force, it's interesting. Because before it gets to the DA, this opposing force with Palace is going to be with John, Lori's husband, ex-husband, whoever he is. Their friend, not friend, I don't know. He went to the UK after Sebastian went missing, or when Sebastian went missing, he was in the UK. That's all I know about him. Don't know much more about him. But I do know that I do know his birthday. So, you know, it begins with him being in opposition because his 1811 trans Pluto is in Leo. And that means that the transformation with publicity and children, there's an opposition with Palace, the investigator. It's devices, it's electronics, it's videos, networking. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I do see that the physician, Apollo, since the Texas floods, this physician, Apollo, that brings enlightenment about the cloud seeding, governor of Texas, has had an opposition on him for a long time. And this 540 will eventually come to a 542 with, that's on the 6th, August 6th, this 542. There's a weight with the physician and the enlightenment with Faith, the stepsister of Sebastian. And the justice, the courts with Nina. The courts with Nina is on the 6th as well. And August 6th is a big day. It's a Wednesday. That is a big day. That's a day for well, it's not my business to tell, but there's definitely a court date. But it's not with Nina that I know of. So let's look at this warring that's going to be taking place with the FBI and Bowersox. It will begin again with the FBI and Terry Bowersox Sr. on August 2nd at 4:45 p.m. And then the moon will be back in Scorpio, reflecting on that investigation, reflecting on things of the past with hidden sex, other people's money. I see a weight on Georgia, the connection that Trump has with Georgia. Things going on with Vladimir, president of Russia. There's a lot going to be taking place again on August 2nd with the FBI. So that's going to be with the FBI and Terry Bowersox if they make that connection ever. August 3rd, August 4th, 5th. See, Eris is not moving. She's staying there. 7th, 8th. And then she moves off of the FBI and Terry Bowersox on the 9th. And that's when there's a lot of transformation that'll be coming with Mrs. Bowersox on August 9th. And Mr. Chris is going to have lots of emotions because his emotions, that transformation that he has, that deep transformation that he has, is going to be with the fate, with the lunar nodes. And that is exactly when, again, we're going to see Chiron come over the values with Sebastian and the warring that he has with the way he creates, with education. This is a big day for not just him, the Bowersox, and Faith. It's going to be a weight. She has Hades at this 542, and that's where the enlightenment, the physician, is going to shine a light on that weight. Could be things going on in New Mexico. Unless they've moved, but there's definitely a weight. It's on the 9th. Let's see. And then the 10th. The 10th. Jupiter is going to expand the pain with Katie. The 10th, the afternoon of the 10th, the evening of the 10th, Jupiter is going to expand her Chiron. Her Chiron is at a 1347, 8, 9, 10, 1350. It's going to expand it. Jupiter is going to come and expand that. All the while, Uranus is at a 110. Remember the 110? That goes to Virginia, goes to Summer Wells, and there's a shakeup with communications here. With the Mars, the health, the everyday with Virginia. And the dark moon is at a 1514. That is the Mars degree of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. There's something else here, though, that I'm not seeing. There's something else that I'm not seeing here. This is on a Sunday. This is Sunday, August 10th. There's something else here. Vulcan is going to come and oppose Sebastian and school. Sebastian and his teachers. The moon is now in Pisces. So if we go back and we reflect on the lowest point that Sebastian has at home, which is a 456, let's look at that moon. Let's look at that moon. On August 10th, the moon is going to reflect in Pisces, in the 5th house of kids and creativity, where Leo rules here. It's going to come to that 456. That's what we were reflecting on. The map, that 456, on the map, that lowest point for Sebastian goes over Melissa's house. It goes up there, not blaming her for anything. I'm just saying it does. A wake-up call in the future with Georgia and Trump. And Venus is going to, this is Sunday morning, Venus at a 1212. It's about the values, things of ownership. It's about home, family, land, mother. That's going to be over Chris. That 1212 is him all day long. But this is the lowest point. Let's look at Chiron, because that's, let's see. Squares Pluto. Pluto is here in the 4th house of home. Squares Selena, 2921. Okay. I see. Okay. I see. Let me say this, and I'm going to show you Sebastian's chart. Hold on. I see. Where are you at, Sebastian? Y'all still with me? How are y'all doing this morning, Monday morning? I'm sorry I'm not focusing on chat. I hope y'all are following me and you're understanding what I'm saying. All right, so this is the lowest point. The IC is always going to be the lowest point that you have at home with your mom. But what I'm seeing also is that we're going to learn something. There's something that we're learning. But whatever it is that we're learning from the teacher, Selena, is in an opposition with Sebastian and his Venus. And what is the Venus? What is the Venus? Well, Venus is sitting here in his second house. Venus rules this second house. Okay. Venus rules Taurus. Venus is about money. She's about things that we own. Things that we own, things that we take ownership of. So whatever it is that we are noticing on Sunday morning that has anything to do with Chris and his mama and things of ownership, things of Sebastian's that he owns, whether that be shoes, whether that be whatever it is, there is an opposing force with him. And the 2706 in the seventh house of relationships is where he is wounded. He's pained here. And it's about religion. It's about philosophy. It's about the courts, his values, with the things that are hidden at home. Because this 2706 is his outer will. It's the body. And Selena is showing that there is an opposition. Selena is here. We are learning something, but it's opposing his Venus, his personal items, whether that be, like I said, whether that be shoes or what. But this is a big day because, you know, this has his sister here at the 542 with the physician Apollo. There is a disordered aggression, a dark moon that is at a 1513 that is coming to make contact with his Mars. It's about the vehicle. It's about the body, the movement, the trash. Because when he went missing, when he was allegedly supposed to be taking out the trash, that is when the sun was shining at a 456. The sun was shining on the lowest point. His IC in Pisces. IC can be about drugs, the medications that he was taking. He was on, I think, 4 different medications. Was he on them that day? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember if he was supposedly on them. Well, Sebastian, his health and all of this agriculture, this religious series, all this energy with his health. This could be the new construction too. I mean, this could be about the construction site because it's in Cancer. You know, Cancer can be about the new homes being built, but there's this energy with health. And that is where the justice is at. This 931. He has an intense experience at 1829. Juno has already went over that. There's an opposition here with Seth too. I can see it with his values, with things of value. There's an opposition. There is a reigniting of a flame. And of course, this is on Sunday, August 10th. This will be an interesting day to observe for sure. For sure. There's something with Chris, his mom. I mean, I can see the whole family. And then this 2053 is coming to the 2056. with Eric Craddock. God's will is being done. Let me look at the FBI one more time. 1647, FBI, 1647. So if we look at the FBI, let's see if I saved that. Yeah, I did. If I look at the FBI with this chart as well, I can see that their Hades here in the fifth house of kids and how they create in Pisces is the 1647. And that's where all the energy series is going to be, with the seventh house of relationships and partnerships, with the warring that's weighing them down. Weighing them down here at a 1647. And then what's going to happen is Ceres is going to station. She's going to station at that same degree with the FBI. And there could be other people in this case with Sebastian that have that 1647, but I'm pretty sure it's going to remain. There it goes. See, it's going to station. It's going to station. And then I see Summer Wells right here. That's 1634. There's a reigniting of a flame. There's the 1516 with Sebastian, that Mars that he has. So whatever is going on the 9th, it's going to come on the 10th, and Chiron is still there. So these energies are still in transit on the evening of the 10th as well, with Summer, Sebastian, the FBI, and the intensity with Katie, and she's pained. Lots and lots of pain. Where does that 1350 go, you ask, with Katie and that pain that is going to be expanded by Jupiter on Sunday? Where does it go? It goes over Long Hollow Baptist Church. And it just keeps on going. That's where that angle would go. That's where the Cancerian line is going with her pain. You know, sometimes I can see with missing kids and I can look at their parents' pain, where that's going to try to find them. But sometimes if they're not pained about their kids being missing, then you're not going to find them on that angle. Or maybe another angle is going to pull them in. But Jupiter is expanding that. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if this map is going to cooperate with StreamYard, because StreamYard does suck with the data with this with these maps, especially Sebastian's, because Sebastian's map is the most ridiculous map that I've ever created throughout the years I've been mapping. But we're going to try. And if it boots me off, I've just added a bunch more addresses. Some of the DA, assistant DAs I'm looking at to see how they connect with Sebastian. Oh, what is this? Okay, well, that didn't work out. That did not work out. So I can try it again and see if it kicks me off one more time. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it one more time. Are y'all still with me? Try it one more time. Oh my God. What in the... Okay. I don't know why it wants to do this, but let's turn all of it off. And we're going to go back. I'm going to go back because I just want to show you Katie's. Okay. Now I'm going to share this with you guys. All right, y'all still with me? Okay. Now, let's go back to the map. And the pane that is going to be expanded is this line. You can see it's not going through Virginia. This is where this pane is with her. It's going through Chapel Hill, Raleigh, north of Raleigh, Winston-Salem, Greenville, Irwin, Tennessee, Morristown. But if we go really close in, really close, this is where it's going to be expanded. Let's see. Her Chiron in Cancer is at 13. It says 103. So let me show you. It's this one right here. So it's this line. This is where her pain is in Cancer. What is Cancer? Cancer is about mom. It's about home. It's about family, emotions, real estate, your genealogy, where you come from. And it could be about the new construction. It could be about this home that's in the back of the house, this 1015 Kellyanne. This is where her pain is. And it's going to be expanded by the justice system, by Jupiter. It's going to be expanded. That's what we're looking for. So it comes over 485 Doversley Court. The Carr residence, that's Mr. and Mrs. Carr's residence. That's where the Ring cameras are looking at in the back, where Mob Crew is focusing on the cat. I think this is the house, right? The Carr residence. Okay, so it's going over this property, this line right here. Little Burn Alley. What is that? There's a little something there. That's not a house. Abington Alley. It looks like the little place where they receive their mail packages or what have you. So it's going over this area. $117. Then it's going over Willow Bend, $116. And it's just going to keep on going. Okay, let's see where else it goes. I'm going to turn on addresses. That's a Masonic Lodge. That's 3220 Long Hollow. Property there. So we have a property here. This is Long Hollow. And I almost want to say that this property was vacant when he went missing, but I don't remember. Don't quote me with that. I don't remember. But I think it was. Okay, so we're going to go over the Masonic Lodge. We are crossing Long Hollow and we are going into the woods. This is where her pain is going to be expanded. But of course, there is also other angles that would be, there's oppositions here. Okay, so this is Long Hollow Baptist Church. This is the church, the mega church. Pastor Robbie. Going into the parking lot, over the church, and back of the church on Buchanan and this little side road. We're just going to keep on going. This is a property that Kathy Bowersock sold. Some of her, some of those houses that she has sold, I have marked them on the map. You can see that this was more of a new construction. Right here, it's going over this property that she sold. There's the rock quarry. Big Station Camp Road, Cages Bend. And then here is the 31E Nashville Pike Waterway. It's a bridge. Let me go ahead and turn my little man on so you can see it. Let's just look here. This little parking lot. This parking lot is in Gallatin. This is Station Camp Creek. Little place that you can put in your boats, do a little bit of fishing. Gas station that's twice daily. This is going into Gallatin. Nashville Pike is right here. Hendersonville is going back this way. Gallatin's going this way. Gallatin is going this way. That's where you can put the boat in. It's right here. So we're going through here. We're just looking where this pane is going to be expanded. There's Plantation Boulevard. This is in Gallatin. This is Chloe Drive. This is where Danny Guy used to build houses. This is actually where I met Danny Guy, was at Fairview Plantation when I was selling real estate. There is one of the pastors at Long Hollow Baptist Church. That's where he lives. There's Lock 4. It's another address of somebody that could be related or a person that Katie knows. There's Odom's Bend. This is Odom's Bend. This is in Gallatin. There's the Cumberland. It's going over the Cumberland. Cairo Bend is there. And we just keep on going. Perfect Roof Trucking Transportation on Kirby Lane in Cookeville, Tennessee. There's a trucking company here. I don't know why I have that here. There's somebody that's a trucker, evidently. Perfect Roof Trucking. And let's see if the missing is here. Yes, it is. And the law enforcement is as well. So what I like to do when I'm looking at an angle like this, especially with her Jupiter, we know it's about to be expanded. This pain that she shares, her Chiron, is about to be expanded by Jupiter's in, and it's just going to sit on it. And what I like to do is I like to see who else is here. So we know that the TBI with third house of communications is here in Cancer, and their ninth is in Capricorn. So the TBI is going to be with this opposition in Capricorn with the TBI in her. But the missing Kronos. Okay, so the missing Kronos with Hades, it was, when he went missing, it was the same degree as the TBI. Huge weight, a devouring energy of home and mom and emotions are here. But the one agency that I don't see is Tennessee. Let's see where the FBI is. The FBI is here. With Neptune, things that they don't see that they would have to dissolve. But Tennessee is not here. They're a little further north and a little further south. But if I go to this opposition with Katie, it's the Neptune. What we would have to dissolve with leadership. And this is going right over Millersville Police Department. Right over it. Police raid by TBI. And I think that that's interesting to take note of, because this is where we would find Tennessee and the missing. So let's go in a little closer. Let me turn on the law enforcement again. And we see that the FBI, the state of Tennessee, the missing, and Katie is all here. And this is in Millersville. And we know that there's things that are taking place with the TBI and the Millersville Police Department. Sebastian's case, the only way that it has anything to do with it is A, corruption. And Millersville isn't far from where he lives. But the corruption with whoever you believe, whether it's the TBI, the state of Tennessee, or Millersville, this is where a lot of attention with the TBI is going. But this map is going, leaving from a point. And that point is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' home. And so we have to ask the question, why? Why does this missing event, how would this missing event, if anything, have anything to do with the Millersville Police Department and the TBI and the investigation with the FBI? I mean, it begs the question here. Missing Ceres, conjunct Cupid in the first house of Capricorn. So the missing line, the Ceres that's opposing the church, because Ceres could be about land, it could be about agriculture. It's with energy, lots and lots of it in Capricorn. So when he goes missing, there's a lot of energy that is being directed. I would more or less want to find not a police, but a church. And I would say, is there a church here? Because Ceres there's got to be some type of affiliation with a church, with religious. There's Eric Craddock. Eric's Chiron in Cancer is overlapping her Chiron in Cancer. But his Neptune in Capricorn is overlapping Katie's Neptune in Capricorn. Eric and Katie are sharing this line here and the line going over the mega church. There's something here. So let's look at, one more time, let's look at all the different places that are around here. And it says Goodlettsville, but this is the Millersville Police Department. Millersville City Hall. Elementary. So there's a school there. There's a bank. And there's the church. There's the church. But it is not an American type of church. It looks like a Latino. Let's see what it says. Yeah, it's a Latina church. That's in Spanish, looks like to me. So we got a church, a bank, and the city hall. That would be, you know, this conjunction with Ceres and Cupid is going over the church as well. And this is from Sebastian's home, from when he went missing. The 7 Capricorn is the state of Tennessee, shows up and shows out a lot with their house of values on the Capricorn line. I'm looking what is on this line because they usually do very well. The state of Tennessee does very well on this angle with their values, but their values is with money, right? There's money. Is there money laundering? Is there something happening here that the TBI could uncover more with Sebastian? I don't know. But the lines tell me that it's possible because Eric Craddock is hiding something. Katie is hiding something. This is her Neptune in Capricorn. This is Eric Craddock's Neptune in Capricorn. Her Chiron is in Cancer. His Chiron is in Cancer. I mean, this is a very good line opposition to be looking at with Katie because she was the last one with her son. And I think that, this is, may not have anything to do with the church, may not have anything to do with the school or anything about it, but I want to go back. Let me turn off the addresses one more time. Or let me turn them on. Charlie Brawley. He has an old address on Pole Hill Road. Charlie Brawley. Y'all remember who Charlie Brawley is, right? He was searching with Terry Lynn, and then he went MIA. A weird one there. So we have an old address on Pole Hill Road with Charlie Brawley. It could be a new address. I don't really know. But we can see that this Pole Hill Road winds around and it comes down here too. Looks like a house. Yep, there's houses over there. It's a building right there. Millers Creek Road. Woods. Houses. That looks like a cabin. Well, the trucking person, yeah, I mean, that is Michael Proudfoot, but I usually, I've got his trucking companies. I would have listed it as Michael Proudfoot, but that one wasn't. Okay, so now we're going to go over Happy Hollow. Happy Hollow Road. Lots of houses here. Woods. There's the creek. I've been down this road looking for him. I don't know if we went in that creek. Don't think so. Happy Hollow Court. This looks like power lines, maybe. $709 Happy Hollow Road. Let's look at this right here. And I think that this address doesn't, I don't think that there's any, I think that this is, let me look at the address here, because I may have talked to them. Yeah. They've got their address, their home blocked. But there's another creek here. And this is right by, this is right by Sebastian's home. So it's this creek area. that I don't believe anyone has searched. There's really nowhere to park unless you park at the end of the road up here. Because I want to say I wanted, the last time that Jeff and I searched, I wanted to park up here and walk the creek, but we didn't. We were running out of time. Had to get back home. You can see a little bridge here on 714 Happy Hollow. There's a barn, a place that you could play basketball here. A little area back there, but the creek is all the way back there. So the creek is running this way. See, you can see the creek is still, it's running here. It's just a long creek. My goodness. All right, so we'll keep going. And the Capricorn, we're looking for woods. We're looking for, a business. And it just keeps on going. It keeps on going right through here. In between 1011 and 1009, in between here, that's where it begins. And let's back it up now. Let's back it up because we followed that other one, that other angle. Here's an associate of Katie's, an associate. I don't know if they still live there or not, but that's an associate. You can, not sure if they still live there or not, but I've got old addresses. This is in Missouri, Carthage, Missouri. So we got Springfield, Carthage, Kansas, threats Julie was receiving. I don't know if that was true or not, but I still put it on the map just to get an idea. And this is where the pastor Robbie that goes to, this is where he is from. This is where he graduated. That pastor with the mega church, Long Hollow Baptist Church. This is where the FBI has their South Node. That's conjunctive relationship. And that pastor was out of town when Sebastian went missing. I would say about 3 weeks later, he was out of town. He was out of town. And this is where Pastor Robbie, this is Corning, California. This is going to Fort Bragg. So I think that that's it's just very interesting to me. That Katie, Tennessee, it's right there. Let's go to go back over here. I think you're right, Blue Eyes. Yeah. You're right, Blue Eyes. The day that Crabtree and I were together with another searcher, he went to Long Hollow Baptist Church to ask for the pastor, because the pastor actually owns, let me show you. The pastor owns this property here. Well, yeah. He actually owns this right here. They never drained this pond. It's an 8-foot pond, I think. They never drained it. Let me show you. Where's it at? Go back. Did I take it off? Oh, I hate it when I do that. Oh my God, I must have taken it off. I'm going to show you. Hold on. It's right around here. Was it this one? Because we went here. We drove up to this guy's house. He's a realtor. And it was me, Crabtree, and another girl. And she may be in the chat. But she doesn't like for anybody to know who she is, but she's been searching since day one. So let me look. That's not it. Okay, yeah, that's not it. Hold on, let me think. Okay, so we drove out. Let me think. I didn't save it. Could it be here? No. It's right there by his house. So Sebastian lives here. Because you could see, it almost looks, it seemed like it was this one, but that is not the pond. But anyway, the pastor, Robbie, owns a parcel of land that has a huge pond. The dogs went around it. They went there, the FBI, they all went there 3 times, the guy said. But they never drained it. There's a pond right there. This could be it. Okay, this could be it right here. Oh, shoot. Because his driveway would be this one right here. They searched all this, like he said, a dozen, I mean, a lot. So what happens is when you come off of Long Hollow, was it right there? Is this property. You drive all the way back here. And you see it's got 2 mailboxes. You drive all the way back here, and there is a house, a really nice house, right here. And this guy is a realtor. And you can see that the back of his property goes to Stafford Court. And so if we think about if Sebastian would have went this way, or if someone would have taken him this way, what have you, this is why they were very concerned about this property. However, they were so concerned that they did not, absolutely not. He said, this dude, they did not drain it. It's like 8 foot deep. They brought dogs. They went all around here several times, searched these woods several times, but they never drained it. No one ever got in it. The dogs didn't alert. And again, this is Katie has a fate here with her lunar nodes. The childhood wound, that pain that we're talking about that goes over the pastor, that goes over Long Hollow Baptist Church. There's a fate here. And that fate is with the man that owns this property right here is Robbie. This realtor doesn't own this right here. Do you understand what I'm saying? This dude doesn't own this parcel of land. The pastor, the mega church pastor, Robbie does. And there's a fate here. Don't know why. I don't think that Sebastian is here. Chris is shaken up here. He gets shaken up with the law enforcement, with the courts. There's Seth. I rise in Gemini right here. And this is the outer wheel of Seth in that 12th house and 6th house. So I would descend with relationships here with him, with the pastor, because it's Sag. And when we talked to him, he was like, oh, I mean, anybody that you talk to that's local that knows anything about Sebastian's case, they immediately will tell you that they think that the mom and stepdad had something to do with it. Really nice guy, but he did say that he doesn't own this property here. This parcel of land is Robbie. Robbie owns this right here. You can see that the missing is here, the missing palace that shakes things up. The investigator in Sag goes over this property. The natal, we receive information, we receive leads here. This is where Sebastian shines. And we can keep on going. I mean, we keep on going. But the Vulcan that I'm talking about, that 1614, is through here. There's the Pluto, but there's where the Capricorn begins. But that 1614, that's where it is, right there. Kathy Bowersox, this is her south node where she's been before. go back over here. That 2117 that's in transit today with the TBI is going here. There's the U.S. Marshals, Homeland Security. We got a bunch of law enforcement agencies showing up over this one. And this is where the state of Tennessee rises. They rise right here with Sebastian, with leads. And this is where I descend with relationships. And of course, you know, I wanted to see for myself and talk to him. And he was a very nice guy. Turn off the law enforcement here. That 1614 that Sebastian has connects to Virginia. So I want to take us to Virginia for a second. We know that he and Summer both are connected to Virginia. The flame of life. The missing flame of life that was challenging the health, the moon, the mom. During the missing event is going here. Again, we're receiving leads here. And we're going all the way. This Chronos in Cancer and the Hades, all the things that are hidden in that 8th house is going over Kingsport to Norfolk. The missing and the lines go to California and Virginia. There's a lead that's coming in here with that Vesta. And then we've got the law enforcement, the FBI, and the TBI. This is where I'll meet the TBI. Hygeia is coming to this 2117 as well today. And this is where I meet the TBI here. This is where Layla's dad meets the TBI with Layla's map. But any of the maps that I create for Tennessee, I'm going to meet the TBI here. Pulaski, Virginia, with Penny. You see all these addresses. All of these are related to Chris and Katie. They're Chris and Katie, okay? They're Chris and Katie's family. Chris and Katie both have family members in Virginia. Does that mean that's where Sebastian is? No, but it does, you know, beg the question when you're investigating with a map and you continuously see Virginia showing up in the transits with Sebastian, it just makes you wonder, you know, it really does make you wonder. The flame of life, that 1218 is coming to the 1219. There is the second house of values with the things that are hidden, murky water, ponds, trash, things of that nature, the investigative side with hidden sex too. There's a relationship with values here with Sebastian that's bringing him pain. And there's a wake-up call with the magnetism of the TBI for the future and groups and astrology. They should be waking up. I mean, this is damn 2025. Let's do something different. So the 357, this goes to Crabtree and the 11th house of groups. There is an intense transformation this morning and yesterday with Crabtree and the health of Layla too, because Layla Centinelo has this 357 and it's about her health. So I want to stop this and look at her. Miss Layla. I think that they are on to, I mean, I keep saying this, but it's true. I mean, I do. I think that they are building a case against one or two individuals with Layla because someone sold her some bad stuff. I mean, that is the consensus, is that she has OD'd. And there's people that know where she went, where she was taken to. And the 357 is all about Layla and the relationships that she has at the AmeriCorps and the West Side Inn. The demolition of the West Side Inn, the things that have taken place with her business, how she would hook up with people. And that is a huge transformation of pain with Layla. It's very intense with the health factor. And the moon, the south node, Mars, it's all here in her 4th house of home with mom and a relationship at home. It's already had a conscious raising experience. There's a lot that's taken place with Layla's case and where they took her. And it does just so happen to be at the same time period, this 357, when Virginia comes into transit. Same time frame. So it's a lot. I think that I've shown you pretty much everything that I've been thinking about just with this transit today. Just with today. These transits today are intense with the world, with the different leaders, with Trump, with the FBI, and with the moneymaker Larry Fink with BlackRock, because he is a key figure of leadership, because he's the money. He's the money. If we really wanted to see a picture of our leader, you look at Larry Fink. That's the leader. He owns everything. It's like Monopoly. He won. He's winning. He's winning the game of Monopoly for sure. So this flame of life is coming to a 1219, and Katie has the 1219. Sebastian has the 1219 in his chart, and that is with Sebastian's Juno, a relationship at a business, or a relationship with dad, a relationship with the authority, with the governing bodies like Millersville. You know, and we've got an opposition on its way with his Venus. It's about things of ownership, things that he owns, shoes, clothing. And there's an opposition here. So if anybody found any clothes or anything, There's an opposition. It's not Sebastian's. It's not. Because there's an opposing force with Venus. The opposing force with Venus is also about any items that the law enforcement has collected. Anything. Glasses. If we were looking for evidence, we want to go to this 29. If I want to look for evidence, let's go to the Venus. Where's his Venus? His values with a business, with someone older, with woods. If we wanted to find something of evidentiary value, things of value with Sebastian, could we perhaps look on this angle? There's an expansion here with 1011 Stafford Court. (1011) Stafford Court. (162) Honeysuckle. (171) Honeysuckle. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, I think that this would be a good angle if we wanted to, because Jupiter too. So his natal could not only bring in evidence, but evidence that would support the law enforcement. And so if we think about the trash truck and honeysuckle, we could think that, that's possible too. With the trash. Because it would begin here. If Sebastian took the trash here, or did he take the trash here? If he took the trash here, then we could definitely be thinking about that with the trash. And this 1011, if they have a ring camera, right? It would appear that that's where the value is with the law enforcement. And that Venus and Jupiter conjunct is where Pluto in Aquarius is going during the missing event, and it's faded. The Pluto in Aquarius with this guy's ring camera is faded with this one, the car residence. So these two ring cameras with 1015, Kellyanne, the car residence, and the Laird residence at 1011. I think that's the Laird residence. May not be. I don't know. There's a challenge here, but the challenge is faded. Do you see what I'm saying? So it makes sense with all the information that we've heard. It makes sense that there is a fate here with this ring camera and this ring camera. So this is where the law enforcement would have the evidence to support whatever theory it is that they are leading with. But there is also a fate that's going over the car residence coming into the new construction. And that's if we just want to stay in that radius of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? But if once we get out of the neighborhood, That's when this goes over Hogan's Branch. Take it further out. We go into Greenbrier, Springfield, Adams, Tennessee. I pass this exit all the time. Adams, Tennessee. There's the Red River. It's this fate that's going over the new construction and the Carr residence. We've got the Red River going here. Let me turn on the law enforcement again. This is where the state of Tennessee has pain with the business, with the Capricorn. If we were looking in the river, it would be a barge. There would have to be a barge here. Because this is going through the Red River, right? It's going through the Red River. It's windy. Let me turn on the other one. Hold on. So you can just see the river. Red River is going through here. Now, if we were to find Sebastian, God forbid, we would have to find a barge. We would have to find something of value that's a moneymaker, excuse me, for the state of Tennessee here in the river. Excuse me. There's Fort Campbell. Damn. We're going over Fort Campbell. Ohio River. Damn, sorry. I'm still trying to get over this cold or whatever it is. We're going over Kansas City. Going into Wyoming, Yellowstone, Montana. Seattle. And then it just rides on up. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that you would find a barge there, but you just never know because let's take the addresses off and go back down. And look in Adams. Let's see. I actually think I've already looked for a barge there. I'm pretty sure I did. Let's see, where's Adams? New Cut Road. Shit, where's Adams? All right. So we'd have to go deep down. Let's see. Sometimes you can tell if the rivers have, they're going to have, money makers. This is something there. A little island here. But I have been looking for Sebastian alive. I've been looking for him alive, but this would be on the way. Let's see. It's the Red River right through here. I don't know. Definitely don't see anything from this satellite view, but the Red River is just constantly just winding right through here. And I have definitely taken note of that because there's Sulphur Fort Creek. Okay. And then it must go into the Red River. There is definitely a breakup. There's a breakup with a lot of intensity with the pain that they share. And the pain that they share at a 2211, I have that in my chart with the divine justice. And that's how I'm connected to the state of Tennessee, is through their justice system. New Cut Road. This is Springfield. That lives in Springfield that is related to the Proudfoots. The Proudfoot, is it Michael Proudfoot's brother? I think Michael Proudfoot's brother that lives out here. Let me see if I've saved that. I don't want to show his address though. And he has definitely been in trouble with the law. I don't want to show his address though. It's somewhere around here. He lives in Springfield. And he's definitely been in trouble with the law. I think he did. Let's see. The lowest point, the TBI. If we just look at that, lowest point with the TBI that's going to be shining a light today. The sun in Leo. Sun in Leo. The lowest point for Sebastian. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. I've definitely looked at this before. So the lowest point that they have on Sebastian's map, we know that For Summer, it goes over Jody Sue's home. For the TBI, it goes over Long Hollow, it goes over the creek, and then it comes down to Old Drake's Creek. And, you know, if the theory were to be, if the theory that you would want to think, okay, you know, something happened, he had an accident, or he was put in a manhole, or what have you, this is where the storm water would come. It's in Leo. So it's going to be about children, it's going to be about a school, or it's going to be something where children go that is either playful or competitive, because Leo is also competitive. And so is Mars, but this Leo could definitely be about children's competitions. Let me turn my addresses back on because I want to show you. So it would be right here. If we were to follow the storm drain system, it would be this area right here: Old Drake's Creek Road, Kemper Trail, Kimber Lane, Parsons Way. But if we keep on going, here's Avent. This is the other waterway, Little Creek area, Anderson Road, not to be confused with the Anderson Road in Priest Lake. This right here is where there was a car found, I believe, with no plates when Sebastian went missing. But it's right here. I thought that it was very interesting for the TBI, and the lowest point is Masters Gymnastics. Katie's family, Chris's family, those girls, or at least one of the girls, goes to Masters Gymnastics. So we could either be looking at the storm drain system, we could be looking at Masters. Ken Davis, he said over and over again that in the very beginning, this man, this is one of his old addresses, by the way. It's not a new address. This man said that, I think, he said that in the very beginning that he saw Kathy at Warsham's with Sebastian the morning he was reported missing. He was one of three. And then he changed it up. I want to say it was him. And then he changed it up and he said, you know, we got to follow the water system, the water drain system. He laid it out on one of the posts on Facebook. I think that was him. I hope I'm right. You know, I'm getting old. So this goes into Lebanon, Tennessee. Not to be mistaken for Lebanon. This is Lebanon. People here in Tennessee, we don't call it Lebanon. It's Lebanon. Hamilton Field. Here's the field office. So the field office for anyone on corrections that is a child abuser, offender, they're going to report to this field office if they are from Lebanon or they have done anything with kids and charged in Lebanon. So I have the field offices on the map because the field offices, if it was a predator, an online predator, the field offices need to be, they need to be identified on the map. Smithville, Tennessee. We got an address there. Don't know whose it is. All we got to do is a reverse look up to know who lives there. We're going into Spencer, Pikeville, Dayton, Archville Road in Tennessee. And then we go into Blairsville, Helen, Clarksville, Livonia, Georgia. Or Livonia. There's the river. But this is where the state of Tennessee's TBI, their Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, this is where they have their lowest point. And then it goes to the coast here. And of course, we can keep on going. Yeah, these lines just keep on going, y'all. They keep on going because if we wanted to see if there were any connections, say in Puerto Rico, here's their north node in Leo. They're reaching their north node where Chris met Rachel at Guantanamo. You know what I'm saying? This is Cuba. This is where the TBI meets their north node, and it's conjunct Mars. The warring at home. And the warring at home with the TBI, all they got to do is talk to Rachel. You think they talked to Rachel? One of Chris's ex. Because they would meet their north node here. The TBI meets their north node talking to Rachel. Talking to Rachel about how Chris is with attention and children. His pride, his ego. That's how they would reach their north node. And the TBI's Jupiter in Virgo, they expand with health. Also going toward Cuba. That's the reason why I extend these lines, because I'd like to see, and which lines would be going to Hawaii. These two would be going north, but this one right here with the TBI, it'd be coming straight over Hawaii, the islands of Hawaii. We can extend them to other countries. We could go up to the UK. And, the maps work when we work them, and I tend to work it by myself. So eventually, maybe the TBI would like to take a look at this, and we could solve cases together so quickly. It's this one that is going to Chris's work. This is where the TBI descends with relationships, with money, with the investigation, with the flame of life. And this is where they connect to Sebastian. This line is connected to Sebastian, same degree. And it's this angle right here. It's highly connected to Sebastian. Middleton, Walnut, Mississippi. See, here's Horn Lake. This is where Chris was allegedly. but it's here that the TBI, this is a 26. This is where they rise. That 2642, where's it at? So if that's a 25 and the 26 is, that connection is going to be right here. Let me see. Conjunct Vesta. So that 26 is actually here. That's where it would be, going through here. Rachel Rogers, Shreveport. That's an old address of hers. So I can see that, you know, if they haven't talked to Rachel, they need to, like yesterday, because they are highly connected to his ex-wife, Rachel. The TBI is, that is. All right, I've talked for almost 3 hours, guys. I hope you have learned something today. I appreciate you listening to me. Jibber jabbering, talking about, you know, the things that I enjoyed to talk about and the connections that are being made per these angles, and the, you know, the degrees in our chart literally matter in the state of matter. They literally matter. Anytime a transitory energy comes over, it doesn't have to be in the same sign. It's going to express itself, I promise. But if it's in the same sign, it's going to be even more intense. Again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for not interacting as much in chat, but, you know, some days it's just like that, where I'm just on a roll and I'm looking at so many things and wanting to talk about different people, different agencies. And this is a big day for Eric Craddock. The United States Saturn is weighted down. Eric Craddock is weighted down. He's weighted. And that opposition that is coming to Sebastian, just remember, it has to do with the evidence. Anything that Sebastian would own. Anything of evidence. All right. Y'all have a good one. Again, I appreciate you guys. Love you, love you, love you. Hope you have a great rest of Monday. Thank you, Blue Eyes. You're a sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.
Clean like your soul won't be forgotten. We stand strong for you. Never give up. Seek justice and truth. Day and night we search. Community gathers, wipe the tears away. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, babe. It lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, hey, it lingers on, but strength we carry will keep control.